To Miss the Bobcats podcast. I'm your host Will,
Your host Chris.
and Hornets
Lose once again.
not even lose. We got blown out.
Whoop.
Yeah, it wasn't really close. Uh, After like halfway through the second quarter, we lose ultimately 132-116. Another game where we give up over 120 points. Some of the stats we got here: LaMelo carried over from last game, back-to-back 30-point games. He had 34 tonight. When Hayward chipped in 18 on 6 of 14. PJ had 14 points. A lot of garbage time points. Wasn't great. Mark Williams continues his hot streak from the field. Or I should say from the paint, really, because where he takes all of his shots. 14 points on 5 for 5 in only 18 minutes, though. Brandon Miller, 13 points on 5 of 11. Nick Richards chipped in 7. Theo Maledon gave us 9. We got blown out so bad that we played Nick Smith Jr. and Leaky Black. I mean, that's like our first big blowout loss of the season. And side note, happy birthday to Bryce McGowan's. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Have a drink tonight
Happy
after that
birthday.
loss. I'm definitely gonna have a drink. That was that was depressing to say the least. But to go over this game, long story short, we got killed by the guys that you don't expect. Kuzma had the best game of the season for him, 33 points. But it's not even like Jordan Poole or Tyus Jones or anything. They were a net negative throughout this game. It was Danilo Gallinari, who we didn't even really know. I know he was on the Wizards. I just didn't know he actually played minutes. He played minutes this game and killed us. 18 points. DeLon Wright, 18 points. Landry Shamet, 15 points. DeLon Wright. DeLon Wright went, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. I don't know why he's getting there that much. Danilo Gallinari was hitting some crazy stuff in the minutes he played. Corey Kispert also chipped in 12. So just a really wacky game. We were leading throughout the first quarter. We led after the first quarter. And then just a little bit to the second quarter, we just lost it. Eventually, I think, we got outscored, 41-17 in the second quarter. It was 65-46 at halftime. We're just like, what is going on? Easily our worst quarter of the entire season, offensively and defensively. We had 8 assists to 9 turnovers in the first half, which I don't think I've ever seen that before, where a team has more turnovers than assists. Just ridiculous. And then the third quarter, we started to make a run. We got to 79-71 with 5 minutes left. And then Clifford says, okay, because he's been bad at rotations all game. That's why we lost the lead in the second quarter and went down 20 points. You get to 8 points. Clifford says, I'm going to put in JT Thor, Nick Richards, and Theo Maledon in the game. And we instantly went back down 20 in a matter of like 3 minutes. It was bizarre. Horrible game from those guys. Our bench got outscored by over 50 points. Absolutely unacceptable. The only players on our team who played well were Hayward, Ball, and Mark Williams. Besides that, everyone was a net negative on defense and offense. It's completely, and I mean, it's really shocking. I know we're bad, but that was really bad. And once again, the fourth quarter, we got to a quick start. Anytime we inch back, the Wizards would just push us back, and we just never had a shot this game. That's pretty much all we got. The positives you can take away from this is LaMelo coming back. He's finally starting to get in a rhythm, which we were wondering when he was going to get into a rhythm. Back-to-back 30-point games. He's attacking the paint. He did a great job in the pick and roll this game against drop coverage, even though the Wizards don't have great defenders. Into his floater. I really wish he would take it all the way to the rim, but if he's hitting his floater, I can't complain. Making his threes. But the Hornets are the worst three-point shooting team in the league right now. Didn't help our case this game either. We just don't take a lot and we don't make a lot. That's not a good recipe. So that's really all we got to say about this game. Bad game. Really need to move on. What I want to ask is, how do we avoid quarters like that? I know we get off to bad starts, but that was utterly ridiculous. Why are we going down 20 in the second quarter when we're up after the first? What did you see? What happened out there tonight?
Me and Blade and Steve Clifford. Like we had a very very good first quarter. We were up 5. The offense was flowing, and then he decides, let's put in the bench to start the second quarter. And I think who was it out there? I believe it was LaMelo Ball, Theo Maladon, Ish Smith, Bryce McGowan. Like it just doesn't make sense. And then it goes down to Ish Smith and Bryce McGowan's, and I'm like, bro, like we're not going to win games if you continue to do these terrible rotations. It's a professional basketball league. It's not the YMCA. You don't have to play everybody. You know, play the players that can actually play the game, and keep someone like Theo Maladon on the bench, or Bryce McGowan's on the bench, or Ish Smith on the bench. And I've been saying this for a while. The Hornets need a better backup point guard. I'm sorry, Ish Smith ain't gonna cut it. Bryce McGowan's ain't gonna cut it. Theo Maladon definitely won't cut it. And then we signed one this offseason, Frank Ntilikina, or however you say his name, and he's out. He got hurt in preseason. It's like, come on.
Well, JT Thor and Theo Maladon combined -42 plus minus. Ish Smith in the 10 minutes he played -8. I mean, our bench is Nick Richards, McGowan's, Maladon, JT Thor. Probably the worst bench in the league. Easily, if Terry's not there and Brandon Miller's starting, that is a horrible bench unit. There's no shot creation there, not any defense. There's youth, but it's a lot of dumb youth. The Nick Richards.
Yeah, for what? The Greensboro Swarm?
Yeah, that's literally a Greensboro Sword team. It's just Nick Richards is on and off. Bryce McGowan's. What is he? His minutes are too choppy to give you anything. Theo Maladon is whatever. I mean, he was 4 for 7, but it just when he's in the game, it seems like we play so bad. JT Thor is out there doing cardio. Just horrible. And like you said, the rotations are what killed us this game. The second we took all of our shot creators out, took Hayward out, like it's just we had no
offense. Goes
downhill. Yeah,
goes downhill. I'm sorry. Look at JT Thor. -21 plus minus. Come on. Same with Theo Maladon. -21. Like, jeez, dude. It just doesn't make any sense. And then, I'm sorry, Mark Williams only playing 18 minutes?
1-2.
I'm sorry, Steve, but I don't know what game you're watching. But I don't think Nick Richards is better than Mark Williams in any world that we live in. So Mark Williams needs to be playing. Considering the fact that he also hasn't missed a shot in the last, 3-4 games? I understand they're all in the paint, but who cares? A shot's a shot. It goes in, it goes in.
Yeah. Well, what's weird about the rotations is, I mean, Thor and Maladon, they're playing the normal minutes that they've kind of been playing all season, around the 20-minute mark. But this game, it was weird, the kind of lineups he was putting out there. And it obviously wasn't working, and he would take way too long to make a substitution or an adjustment. And it's like, we're getting out of hand. It's like, it's down 10. It's like, you might want to put some of our starters back in the game, and he keeps them out there. Before it's too late, you've dug yourself such a big hole, you can't. That's what we're talking about. You dig yourself a hole, and you're trying to climb yourself to get out of it, and Washington's putting dirt back into the hole. Every time we get it to 10, they just push it back because we don't have the momentum or the energy to keep that up. So I don't even know. Do you play the starters more minutes? Like, they're already playing. PJ was at 36, LaMelo 36.
Yes. Keep them in the game. If we're about to come back, keep them in the game. This is not the YMCA. You don't have to sub somebody just for participation. We're trying to win games here, bro. You're not going to get a participation trophy. Like, keep the players in the game. They're the ones who brought us within what 8, 7. Keep them in the game. No, let's put JT Thor, Theo Maladon, and Nick Richards. Let's see what they can do. Nothing. And of course, Nick Richards still has to average his 1 goaltend per game. So that's a good sign.
Yes, we got a goaltend from Washington, Mark Williams, and Nick Richards. So great job, guys, with the
I
goaltends.
will say, with our bench being this bad, again, I've brought it up in previous episodes, but once we get the return of Miles Bridges, that'll add a little bit more depth to our bench. Plus the return of Cody Martin. Obviously he hasn't played in like a year and a half, but he's from what we remember, he was at least somewhat a good defender, and he can somewhat score. Like he's kind of a guy who can get you 6, 8 points off the bench. Um, and then, I mean, if Book Knight can maybe step, I know he probably doesn't have a future here in Charlotte, but if he can maybe come back, get healthy, get some minutes off the bench, take over Theo Maladon's spot, that would be perfect in my opinion, because I feel like he could be better than Theo Maladon. I'm tired of watching him.
So
But adding Bridges and Martin would give our bench a little bit more depth.
for sure, because our bench got outscored by, I just counted up, it's over 60 points. So our bench gets outscored by 60 points. You have no shot to it. It's almost amazing we only lost by 16 with the bench playing like that. We're just lucky Jordan Poole or Tyus Jones didn't score any more points. And it's not like Daniel Gafford offered anything. Yeah, Washington has no foul trouble. So once again, it was 35-35 in the second quarter. We sub out Ball, McGowan's Washington. We put in Thor Hayward and Brendan Miller. And we go down by 8. And then we sub out Mark Williams after going down by 8 and put in PJ Washington. So at that point, we have like Ish Smith in the game and JT Thor. I'm like,
are you? Come on. Bro.
The lead's going down and down, and we got Ish Smith and LaMelo Ball playing at the same time. I'm like, what are we doing? Yeah, by the time it's too late.
What is Steve doing?
Steve Clifford was,
and he's here for 2 more years. Oh my gosh.
yeah. But every time we got it back, like I said, in the third quarter, we were like, we're coming back. It's with 5 minutes left. We get it to 8, and then boom, we put Thor, Nick Richards, and Maladon in. For some reason, instead of just keeping the guys that made the run, like, I don't know. That was an extremely strange game. I don't know if you have anything else to add on to that. Like, I'm really just, I don't even know like what else to talk about.
We've played now 4 games at home, and we've won 1, and that was at the beginning of the season. Against the Hawks. This is embarrassing. I feel bad for anybody that's going to the games, just like myself, wasting money to watch Theo Maladon, JT Thor, and Nick Richards go into the game, and Ish Smith. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I wasn't at the game tonight, but that's embarrassing.
Well, that evens our record with the Wizards. Wizards coming into this, we're 1-5. We were 2-4. Now we're both 2-5. Puts us at 14th in the standings. But we will play them again on Friday. That'll be our in-season tournament game. This one will be at Washington. So, I mean, my prediction about the win was wrong, but I predicted LaMelo Ball would put some stuff together, and he did. Once again, back-to-back 30-point games. Can't ask for much more from him, but definitely we our bench has to come out with some energy next game. I mean, we really missed Terry Rozier. We just don't have a playmaker, a scorer off the bench. We don't even really have a serviceable NBA player off the bench. Like they're like guys picked up off the street almost that we're putting in there to get minutes. But The regular season, you need a good enough team to have guys come off the bench. In the playoffs, you can get away with less players, but in the regular season, you're gonna have bench guys playing 15 to 20 minutes, and if those are the minutes we're getting from our bench players, we have no shot at winning a lot of games. So,
Yeah. Well, let's do a little bit of reverse psychology. So we play them on Friday, playing tournament. I say Wizards are going to win. Let's see what happens.
I say Wizards
Maybe,
win. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Because every time we've said Hornets win, who wins? The other team.
Well,
Let's just say Wizards win. The matchup now, last episode I said the matchup predictor was in favor of the Hornets.
yeah.
Oh, it's now in favor of the Wizards, 61-38. So that's great. Great.
Here's the thing. I don't think, like I said, I didn't even know Danilo Gallinari was playing minutes.
I didn't know he was in the league. I'm not gonna lie to
In his league.
you.
Yeah. So you wouldn't think the bench is gonna contribute that much for the Wizards again. You wouldn't think our bench would play that bad, even though it's not too far fetched. But I do expect. Yeah, it's really not that crazy to say, but I do think Jordan Poole and Tyus Jones are probably going to contribute a little bit more. But we just, like I said, besides Hayward, Williams, and LaMelo Ball this game, whole team just stank. Just was bad. Bad rotation substitution wise and bad rotations on defense. Wasn't a lot of energy. Washington basically got any shot they wanted. It was just open 3-pointers the whole game. And if we're going to give up that many threes with a team like us who doesn't shoot threes a lot and doesn't make them, that's also a recipe for disaster. This is 2023, not 1982. We have to be able to shoot the ball a little bit. Off the bench, there's no shooting as well. So
All we care about is t-shirt dolls. So let's,
t-shirt dolls.
let's just move on to the next game and
Yeah.
hope that our players want to help LaMelo this game. So
Yeah. Pretty short episode. Not much to talk about here. I don't really think we want to talk about this game more than we have to. Next game against Washington Wizards. We both are gonna say Washington wins that one. Reverse psychology. And dude. See, man. Anyways, that's all we got. This is the Mr. Bob podcast. I'm your host, Will.
it's Chris.
We'll see you next time. Peace. That was tough.
That hurt.